Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. The question is asking a question about breastfeeding here. Now, this is actually a very important question because we've talked about breastfeeding before, we've talked about conditions of breastfeeding before, but the question here is that if a woman is not pregnant, right, so she's single, so this concerns single sisters, or sisters who are married but they don't have any children, say she produces milk by eating something. There were certain foods at the time of the Salaf which could then create production in the woman, even though that there has been no pregnancy. Or medication, we don't condone it, but let's just say that the person decides to do it. Is she still the breastfeeding mother to this child, Islamically speaking? This masala also concerns brothers who have more than one wife. Say he's got 2, 3, 4 wives. One of them is breastfeeding, the other one isn't. How does that work? Are they now all mothers to this child through breastfeeding or not? Now, the first scenario is, and there is no dispute between the ulama on this, which is that if they are married, man and woman are married, the woman is producing that milk because she's feeding her own children, and then she feeds somebody else's child. The mother becomes the mother through breastfeeding, and the father becomes the father through breastfeeding, also known as sahib al-laban, meaning the owner of the milk, meaning this person, this man, is maintaining this woman, giving her all the nutrition and support that she needs to produce this milk. Therefore, he is now known as the owner of the milk, meaning the person who is, maintaining this woman so she can breastfeed somebody else's child. There's no disagreement between the ulama that is established breastfeeding with its conditions, which we have talked about previously. The issue here is, though, she's not pregnant, right? So she's single, or she's married, but she's not got any children of her own. Is she still considered as being the mother that is the mother through breastfeeding to this child? Now, the majority of the ulama, including the ulama from the four madhahib, have established that this woman is the mother through breastfeeding. Some of the ulama have said no, she is not the mother. She is the mother through breastfeeding, yes, but the husband is not the owner of the milk. But he becomes the stepfather through breastfeeding. Is this semantics? No, not necessarily. Because if he becomes the father through breastfeeding, all of his kin become mahram to this child who has been breastfed. But if he becomes the stepfather through breastfeeding, he is the only one that remains mahram to him and his children, of course. But then it doesn't go beyond that. This question was being asked to Sheikh Aziz bin Baz about a woman who is breastfeeding her niece. She's not pregnant herself, but she's breastfed this child. Does she become the mother through breastfeeding? And look what the Sheikh says. أَنَّ دُرَّهَا يُؤَثِّرُ, meaning this feeding of this child has an impact, meaning it has been established. وَلَوْ لَمْ يَسْبِقْ حَمْلٌ, and this is the mas'ala here. Even though she is not pregnant, the majority of the ulama have said, yes, she becomes the mother through breastfeeding. Whereas others, from some of the scholars from the Hanafis and the Shafis, they say, no, she becomes the mother through breastfeeding, yes, but it doesn't extend onto the husband, etc. هذا هو الصواب, this is the correct view, because of the generality of the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأُمَّهَاتُكُمُ اللَّاتِي أَرْضَعْنَكُمْ وَأَخَوَاتُكُمْ مِنَ الرُّضَاعَةِ. Those women who breastfed you are your mothers through breastfeeding, and your siblings through breastfeeding has also been established. Let's go now to the brother who's got more than one wife. One of his wives breastfeeds, the other one doesn't. The second wife who doesn't becomes the stepmother through breastfeeding, but not a mother through breastfeeding because she hasn't fed that child. Let's say one of them feeds because he's had a child with her, but the other one also feeds, but he hasn't had a child through her. Has that established itself? We will say yes, it has established itself. And this is the situation here. We are talking about mahram being established, or musahara, meaning step fathers and step siblings. This is the difference. And if we were to establish it, then that establishes mahramiyah for everyone. And if it doesn't establish it, then it doesn't establish it necessarily for everyone. It would stop at the stepfather and the stepchildren, but then it doesn't extend upon the father's brother and the father's nephews and nieces, etc. As the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he said, يحرم الرضاعة ما يحرم النسب. When the rada'ah has been established, it is as if the child is now established itself as a mahram through what would normally establish itself through lineage. So just as you've got nieces and nephews, and you've got uncles and aunties, those are all mahram, and you are mahram to them, etc. Through breastfeeding, it's exactly the same. So if we were to establish breastfeeding, then that would also work. However, if we were to say that, no, it's only for the woman, but it doesn't apply to the husband in this scenario where she is single, then we will say that he becomes the stepfather, and then that's it. So there is no relationship now to the father's brother, for example. And that's the mas'ala, and that's where the scholars have differed. But like the Shaykh has said here, what seems to be more correct is due to the generality of breastfeeding being established, and that being the mother, and then that being the father. It is not a condition that they have their own natural production for him then to be the sahib al-laban. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us the best of tawfiq and success. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على